Do you know what electricity is? To put it very simply, electricity is the flow of electric energy that powers technology, from the lights in our house, the computer we work on, and the smallest of gadgets we use in our daily lives. Diving deeper into electricity's complicated science produces more questions for us lay people. Electricity is produced when there is a presence or flow of charged particles. When these electrons flow freely in metals, this means they are good conductors of electricity. Now, when a battery pushes them to travel around a complete circuit, this is called an electric current. This powers most of our things, like the gadget where you're reading this right now. On the other hand, static electricity is the buildup of electrons on some form of material that does not produce electricity, otherwise called an insulator. For example, a jumper and a balloon are two different things made up of different insulating materials. So when one touches the balloon, the charge would travel through to you, then down to the ground, which would cause you to feel a slight shock of electricity. It may be a bit confusing, but it travels in a closed circuit when electricity travels. This is because converting a primary source into a secondary energy source produces the electricity we use. Primary energy sources are either renewable or non-renewable energy. Coal, natural gas, and nuclear energy are non-renewable energy sources, while solar, wind, and hydroelectric are examples of renewable energy. Once used up, non-renewable sources of energy can no longer be replaced. This spells disaster for humanity because most of what we use for our energy needs comes from non-renewable sources, and these sources are depleting at an exponential rate. This is one of the main reasons why environmentalists have a lot of pushback to be more dependent on renewable sources for our energy. Simply put, renewable energy is continuously replenished from a natural process. Something that cannot be exhausted, like sunlight or the wind, is not only good for our environment, it also produces more energy than is used for its production. Utility companies, through their power plants, deliver our electricity to us. Some of these companies generate their own energy, while others purchase it from other utility companies or independent sources. The electricity from these utility companies reaches us through distribution and transmission over power lines. This highly complex system of transformers, substations, and power lines all connect together to form what is sometimes called a grid. This grid, built of miles and miles of high and low voltage power lines, is where electricity travels through to reach us when we flip that switch. Think of it as a more extensive circuit form where an electrical current runs. Basically, something as small as a remote control for our TV has a lot more in common with our house than we think about electrical travel. Scientists and inventors have worked to decipher the principles of electricity since the 1600s. Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Edison, and Nikola Tesla made notable contributions to our understanding and use of electricity. In the late 1800s, Nikola Tesla pioneered the generation, transmission, and use of alternating current, AC, electricity, which reduced the cost of transmitting electricity over long distances.